So if you've been watching in the last couple of months, I told you guys that I've been trying to pick up hats a little bit more. And I came across this vintage I Love Lucy hat. I was never really into that, but when I seen it inside one of the bins, it was really dirty and it looked old. And so I didn't even really know who this character was, but it has the name on the back. I don't know if you're watching, you're a fan. I believe this is Ethel. Anyway, I think I had this hat. The comps were showing, I think there was a few that sold anywhere from like 25 to like 50. So I think I priced mine at like $39.99. Never really got any real takers at that price. And so somebody finally offered 20 plus shipping. And so I took it. All right, so this is another one of those Columbia jackets that I picked up at Ross. I was telling you guys I picked up maybe like 14 or 15 of these when we first moved to Tennessee. This one sold for 25 plus shipping, and most of the sizes that I found were between a 1X and 3X, I believe. I believe this one right here is a 2X. And so I think maybe there is maybe 1 to 3 of them left, but these ended up being decent pickups. I mean, not really gonna get rich selling these, but I think I was able to double my money in most of these cases. And these are a pair of Cabela's hunting pants, usually not a brand that I'm picking up. The only reason I grabbed these is because they had the camo, and I figured, you know, I looked up some comps and they seemed like those were moving pretty decent. These didn't sell for a ton. Picked them up at the bins for probably $1.50. These right here sold for $14 plus shipping. So one customer service thing to kind of deal with this morning. This is a Marmot. All it was a lightweight windbreaker jacket. It was returned because the customer said that it was the wrong size or didn't fit, and that's typically what most of my returns end up being. It's usually just because something doesn't fit. Every now and again you'll get an item not as described, and sometimes it's valid and some other time it's the buyer trying to figure out a way to get the shipping back, but that's part of the game too. But so I'll get this refunded and then get it relisted, and hopefully, I mean, with it being fall, it'll be winter here before you know it, that this one will be sold here shortly after. So we got a pair of Spanx leggings. Typically not picking up Spanx a whole lot these days. If this was maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I mean, this would have been a really good find. These are actually new with tags from the bins, and they're really light, probably less than $1. They sold for 21 plus shipping. There's a lot of Spanx you can find even at Ross on clearance for 7, 8, a lot of times under 10 bucks, but a lot of times they just don't really move like they once did. So I'll pick them up at the bins if I can pick them up for 50 cents or what have you. So this was probably the most notable find that I came across at the Goodwill bins this week. This is a pair of Diamond Turf 96s, the line that Deion Sanders has with Nike. And they're in really good condition as well. And usually, like when you run across this model, especially pre-owned, a lot of times they're separating on the side. But these right here, they're in really good shape. And so found these my first day in Nashville, and they probably cost maybe like $3-4 tops. And most of the comps on these are well over $100. If you get the right colorway, like in that cowboy colorway, I think some of those are selling for $250. But for a safe conservative bet, this should easily be a $100 bill on, like I said, a $3 or $4 investment. All right, so here's another one of those items that you're not going to have a ton of competition for if you're a frequent shopper of the Goodwill bins. Most people are going after the easy money, the brands that everybody knows about, and that's fine if you can find those, but the competition is pretty fierce at the bins across the country, and so you got to start finding items that other people don't really know about. This is just a Verizon. It's just an employee, like a sort of like a puffer vest, and again, somebody's going to look at the vest, see this logo, probably not even know what it means or what company it's even for. But anyway, it's really light. Probably only costs probably less than $1, and it sold for 12 plus shipping. So I think the shipping was $6.99, so the buyer is in for right under 20 bucks. And again, something you can easily pick up and turn $1 into basically what, 15, 20 bucks. Alrighty, y'all, so I have an update on one of those Tennessee Volunteer player issue. I think I had a sweatshirt and I had a jacket. I was mentioning to you guys a few videos back that I had found those at the bins, and Found both of them on the same day. Well, I finally sold the orange one. I've had them both for probably going on about the second month now, but the orange heavyweight sweatshirt sold here locally to someone right here in Tennessee. It sold for $150 plus shipping, and that's pretty cool because initially when I picked it up, I wasn't 100% sure that it was a player issue hoodie, but after doing some more research, I figured that's probably what it was. These are a pair of Brooks Ghost 15, and I found these down at the Goodwill bins. These were fairly dirty, but once I usually when I clean my shoes, I'll spot clean them. Back in the day, I used to take the laces out. I usually don't do that anymore just for the sake of time. I found out that if you just put some laundry detergent on the laces, scrub them real good, and then just leave them in when you wash them, it still gets just as clean, but you don't have the relacing period that you have to do after the shoes are washed. That was just taking up too much time, and I just figured that was just a better workaround. But anyway, these sold for $25 plus shipping, and they probably only cost no more than $3. Alright, y'all, so pretty hectic week the last 2 days. I was sourcing. This is my first day back home, so there's a lot of stuff that I need to get done. Shipping is #1 on my radar because usually when I'm out here shooting these clips, the postman is en route, and so now I need to get the packages shipped and placed out on the front porch so you can pick those up. So this is where I'm gonna cut the video off at. I appreciate you guys for coming along with me. If you got anything out of the video, like it, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you guys right back here on the next one. Succeed.